power to the people. And public participation forms a central part of it, because without then public participation, devolution is not possible, governance is not possible, equal distribution of public goods is not possible. And that is why, at the moment, public participation is at the cornerstone of everything, without which then nothing else works, or if it works for the few. The threat is that when people lack access to engage with the government and the power to influence decisions that affect their lives, allow me to read this one, policies and development proposals fail to address their needs. And when they feel excluded from the most critical components of their general well-being, what happens then? There is deepened economic equality, because the few who can speak and champion for their needs, then get the bigger share of the public cake, and those people who cannot speak for themselves, you get nothing. And that's what happens, deepening economic equality. Number 2, propagating corruption. Number 3, undermining social accountability. Because if you don't know what's going on, anybody can get away with everything. In the human nature, most of the time that is selfish. Propagating conflict, when people feel excluded, and you have seen this in Kenya. How many times have we gone through these rounds? And it's all about distribution of public resources. The iniquity and the anger that comes with it is then what propagates conflict. Then killing the spirit of collective contribution in governance. When people cannot engage and give their views or contribute to what is being discussed or in the distribution of resources, then with time, and you've seen this even in the last election with the voter apathy, killing the whole spirit of collective involvement in governance. Now, there lies an opportunity in Kenya where most of us are online. Young people are online. 43.3 million people have access to the internet. Nowadays, people communicate through WhatsApp. I mean, that's a great opportunity. Can we tap into this opportunity to enhance our governance? That's the opportunity that lies with us today. So our mission is as simple as to make public participation easier, inclusive, and more effective. And talk of inclusive in a more broader perspective. We live in a country where culture still plays a part. There are areas where young people, ukisimama uongee, kijana mdogo unatuambia nini? We live in areas where we live in a country where in some communities women cannot speak where men are. Then when will their issues, or how can their issues then be incorporated in matters governance, in matters development? You see, so if we employ tech, could we at least for now bridge, the challenges that are there now, even as we work, to solve the systemic inequalities that are still there with us. So how we work? 4 main ways: knowledge creation and dissemination that facilitate effective public participation. Think of it in a broader sense. Capacity building to best approach participatory democracy. Thirdly, advocating for inclusivity, collective involvement, and application of best practices and policies in public participation. And lastly, supporting the management of public participation through tech. What we are working with the county government of Nairobi right now includes all that, but mostly in supporting the management of public participation. Can we reach more people? Can we engage more people? How do we collect the data? How do we give back responses after public participation has happened? So this is a larger vision of the organization. It's for a peaceful and just world where every voice counts and every individual everywhere has an equal chance to determine issues that affect their lives. Can we have that? And I know when we work together in partnership and cooperation, you can achieve that. That's what we're aiming at as an organization. So our theory of change is that when we have everybody included, and you can employ tech in this, through partnership and collaboration, more meaningful public participation will be achieved, creating an environment of trust and mutual understanding. And that has been one of the greatest impediments of public participation, that mutual trust between the people or the citizens and those governing them. Yes. Kila mtu, you will look at each other suspectly. Yeah, what they're doing, is it for the good of us, the people? Right? Now, people in government wakiangalia wananchi, there's that trust that is broken that needs to be mended before public participation is really meaningful. So that when you go into public participation, we know we are going there for collective good. Most of the time when you think of public participation, is fault finding, criticizing. What is not working? What did you do yesterday that you don't like? But when you look at it as collaborating in making our communities work, it's a whole different ballgame. And that's what we aim to achieve. Now, let me take you through the Civic Voices app briefly. So, can somebody help me with that? Thank you. So that's how the app looks like. It's a digital platform for public participation. We've been doing this through an Android app. It provides an intuitive and easy to use. I think that was mentioned even if you saw the videos. But can we submit opinions in a very simple way, an easy to use platform? And okay, this thing keeps coming up. Here, I just take us back. So you see it from there. Right now, when you want to get a notification, or when you want to get information on public participation, you have to go to the newspapers. How if you just get it through notification of the phone, just like you get WhatsApp notifications? Will it be easier? Right? The different formats. Most of the time, tumekuwa tukiletewa 3,000 pages to read within 2 hours, then we engage in public. How meaningful can that be? But can we break down this information? Especially for young people and for busy people nowadays, we've taken the hustler culture. Yes. You are in the market, you are doing this. Can that be broken down into videos and summaries so that we can consume this in an easier way before then we engage before? Because if we don't understand what is being discussed, then how will you engage? How will you meaningfully contribute? Building communities around issues. Can we consult within ourselves before we give, a submission? Yeah. So it's about empowering people in a decision-making process in government. Can our voices be heard? I think I've talked about the goal, bringing public participation closer to the people through tech. So the app is available on Google Play Store. If you search Civic Voices, you'll get two, Civic Voices Lite and Civic Voices. And I'll talk about that change as we move ahead. So what the platform does, it informs, mobilizes, collects, and reports. Informing is about getting the information to the people. Mobilizing is about getting them to the discussion. After you get them to the platforms, can we collect their views in a more organized way, I'll say in a scientific way? Then can we report? So on the Civic Voices app, once discussions are done, it automatically then generates a report that can be broken down into the different data points that the county wants, or whoever is doing the public participation, so that data can speak. We can make decisions based on real public opinion. Now, I want us to take us quickly through the journey that we've been through. So, the first one that we have finished in Nairobi County was about streamlining and upgrading the system to meet county needs. So that happened. The priority number one was then to build partnership with the county, which through director, your facilitation, and we appreciate that a great deal, Patrick, that happened. After that, the priority was then to incorporate duty bearer insights. Yes, we have this. Does it meet the needs of the county? So we had robust conversations with duty bearers in Nairobi County. And we were able to get their views and incorporate them, on the Civic Voices platform. Number three was then to get to the people. Can they use the platform? What is it that is working for them? What is not working for them? And how do we improve that? So we did that, engaging stakeholders from different communities within Nairobi. There are awesome conversations that went there. Then after we upgraded from inputs from the county government and from the users in Nairobi, basically citizens of Nairobi, then we ran public participation through the platform. We managed to run 5 of them, and I'll handle that under achievements. Number one was the proposed establishment of barrows, which was a very robust conversation You will agree with me, Director, last year. And I think it will go in record as one of the best handled public participation in Nairobi if you look at the process of public participation from mobilization to reporting. And I think here for the first time, people are able to get feedback within the stipulated period of, reporting back on public participation. Then we handled the finance bill for last year. Then there was the affordable housing program. Then there were the KIPes, the county aggregated industrial parks, which now has already started taking, shape in Madare. That is Hospital Ward, right? Yeah, a very huge industrial park is being created there after that public participation. Then we did a year one service review, the Department of Public Participation. What was working, what was not working, and how can we improve the functioning of the department. So from the first one, year one service reviews, we're able to engage to reach 4.7 thousand people, engagements 2,000, impressions. If you're doing also social media stats, you understand what impressions are. But look at it with an average of public participation where we have, the director said averagely 300 people. So if we have averagely 300 people in public participation and we're able then to reach and engage, that is 4,000 people, what percentage of increase in that is that? And this is only to a limited population, right? So that was for the year one service review. For the KIPes, those are the figures, reaching to up to 18,000 people. That's informing and mobilizing. Mobilizing, we did up to 13,000 people. In the affordable housing program, this one was crazy because it had a lot of politics involved and emotions because the housing, because of what the beginning of the program will be vis-a-vis the end, and there were fears around people being, taken out of their houses and all that. So it was crazy conversations that went on, though later, I think, put to a stop before it was later carried on. Is it on, Patrick? The second session? Or did it end Hivo? Yeah.
The second phase.
Yeah, which is yet to come, right? Yeah.
But we are still negotiating now.
Yeah. Yeah. They even went to court about that. Then the finance bill, we were able to reach 15,000 people and had 2,500 engagements. So if you look at these numbers vis-a-vis what this is for the proposals of Barrows, which was a very robust conversation. We engaged 34,000 people. We 34,000 people. If you add with the impressions, that will go to something around 90. Then the engagement 6,000. So if we could do this just with a segment of Nairobi, imagine the possibility if we engage the whole county. If we are doing how many percent? 300 over 100 times 34,000. That's quite some percentage. So if we did this in the whole county, how many people would we possibly engage and meaningfully bring into this conversation? So look at those possibilities. And that's what we're trying to demonstrate today. What are the possibilities of employing tech in such processes? Now, with the challenges that you have seen in the course of this implementation, we mentioned 6 of them that are cut across and broad. Number 1, limited citizen knowledge of citizen duty and responsibility. Whenever we've engaged the people, most of them hardly know the civic duties and responsibilities. So talking to somebody to get involved in something that he doesn't or she doesn't understand, it's an uphill task. The second one, Dan, will you help me with that? There's Kitty. Just help me close, the remote is there. Scroll down, then close. Yeah. The second one was limited knowledge, citizen knowledge on county public participation processes. We did, you remember, Director, we did even a survey in one of the forums that we had in Madare. Out of around 60 people, only 2 knew who the ward admin was. So if these are the structures that if you wanted to raise an issue or a concern, you go to, and only 2 out of 60 know. If we extrapolate that to the county, then see the kind of difference that is still there and the kind of work that is needed in citizen education in county public participation processes. So if we expect these people to come to public participation and do their part, we're lying to ourselves. There's a lot of work that needs to go there. Number 3, limited citizen knowledge, the different avenues of participation. That was experienced. Then limited citizen opportunity to interact with county officials and raise their civic concerns. PP and training sessions turn into ranting spaces, undermining set objectives. Anytime, Japheth, I don't know how you've handled this because you deal with people in the communities. Where's Japheth? I think he has left. Nje kidogo. But every time citizens meet elected officials in any forum, if it's a public participation forum or a training forum, it turns into a ranting forum. At the end of the day, the PP might not meet its objectives, the training might not meet, because it's a rare opportunity for people to meet the elected leaders or representatives of the county. So when they get that chance, they utilize it to the fullest. At the end of the day, we don't meet objectives. And you have seen that every time we've gone to the communities. Then number 4, limited access to use of mobile app only, gadget capacity, office use. Some people say they didn't have space, so they don't know what apps to trade to have the Civic Voices app. And all that. So somebody's asking you, which one will I give priority? Will I give my WhatsApp or Civic Voices? You see, so trade-offs, depending on the different gadgets that people have. So that's one of the challenges, you see, that we saw. Then lastly, and even people who would want to use that in the office or in official capacity. And I remember, Benjamin, you raised that as well when you came to attend at the PDF, that if you want to do that as IBC, will you use it through your phone? What are the options that we can have that then can be institutionalized rather than, just the mobile app only? Then lastly, limited organizational capacity to reach and train citizens on digital public participation and opportunities therein. So we only managed a few communities within Nairobi to reach them and train them on how to use the Civic Voices app. And the larger task that came with that is to train them on public participation, the processes and the structures and all that. So then we were not able to reach the 3 million people in Nairobi because we didn't have that capacity. And I think that's where then an opportunity comes. How can we support each other to support the county to bring people to speed and to that level of engagement that is required? So remedial approaches that we have taken, number 1, we have developed an outreach and advocacy program. This is basically to handle the civic education bit, what in political parties will be called the political education bit, what in IBC will be called the voter education bit. Do people know what they're supposed to do? Do people know about these processes? That's the biggest task that we have, despite everything. Civic education, building their capacity to engage with the government. And number 2, we then developed a web platform that can go hand in hand with the mobile app to improve then the kind of engagements that we foresee to have. And in the last session, we just demonstrated in a bit how that web platform works, because it's now out and ready, that we'll also be using that now in expanding that engagement. Opportunities, we would say broader partnership for enhanced inclusion towards sustainable development, democracy, peace and justice through tech. Tech is a reality today, is what we live in today. So how do we employ it and maximize it to ensure sustainable development, democracy, peace and justice? And Civic Voices is just a demonstration of what is possible. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my time. Thank you so much. Then I'll get it back to you. Doing the presentation. Oh.
So thank you so much.
So maybe the questions will be after the session. Okay. Then in here. Okay.
All right, Asante Don.
Can I have maybe a round of applause?
But why not?
Oh. Thank you.